All right, hey team, welcome to our call. It is Wednesday, January 30th. I'm going to do a couple of announcements real quick, and then I will pass it off to Rachel, who was kind enough to host a call for us tonight. So a couple of quick announcements. First things first, tomorrow is the last day for the summit promo. Ticket price $155, I do believe. I've done a couple posts in the team page because people have been questioning about it. Get your ticket. You'll find a hotel room. I promise. We always have room for people. It's always a giant cluster until then, but we'll find room. Promise, promise, promise. Secondly, if you did not get registered for a team cup, make sure to do that. If anybody needs one person, please let me know. I need to get my husband on the team. So if you still need a person, let me know. And then lastly, the challenge pack promo that was this month is also for next month. So they've extended the promo until next month. And then we finally have our release date. Fruit Punch Energize is coming on, the 17th or the 19th. It's one of those two. I'm so sorry, guys. I can't remember. It's one of those two. But it's coming. It's finally coming. So that will all get released again. It's either the 17th or the 19th. I can't remember. I'll look it up while Rachel's hosting the call and let you guys know. So tonight Rachel is hosting a call for us. She was kind enough. I just did an ISO post, and we're going to swap calls and talk for one another. Just sometimes it's nice to hear from other coaches and not me, because I'm guaranteeing you, she'll say stuff that I have said before, and you guys will be like, oh my gosh, I've never heard that before. When in fact, you have probably heard it out of my mouth many times. So I am going to just pass it off to her to let her introduce herself, because I think it's always easier and better for coaches to introduce themselves. So Rachel, I'm going to pass it off over to you, and you should be unmuted.
Awesome. And I'm going to go. Can I share my screen? Is that okay? Okay, perfect. Let me get can y'all see that presentation, hopefully? Yes. Okay. So what's funny is I'm not a public speaker by nature. So if you've ever had to do scary things in your business and you didn't feel like you were natural at something, public speaking is one of those things for me. So I love slideshows because it distracts you a little bit from my face, to be completely honest. My name is Rachel. I'm honored to be on your team call. I truly believe that hearing things from someone else's perspective is just fresh energy and fresh excitement. And maybe you will have heard that, and the third time that you've heard something, it just clicks. And hopefully something that I share will resonate with you. Just a quick background on my story. So I have been a coach for almost 3 years, and I am a 2-star diamond coach. I live in North Carolina. I have 2 young boys, 1 and 4. They are wild and crazy. And I am married, have been married for 7 years. I have lost, between 2 postpartum journeys, 145 pounds with Beachbody. I've gone from a size 18 to a size 4, and Beachbody really changed my life. I was one of those who got married, was super thin, and got real comfortable and happy really quickly, and gained a lot of weight. And my cousin she had just started doing size. So Shanti's kind of like my soulmate trainer. She had just started doing size, and secretly, I would love to be a step-up dancer. That's just like kind of my dream, but I have no rhythm. I am total white girl moves, but I saw her doing that. And as someone who hates to sweat, I thought, I can dance. I can do a dance program. She plugged me into a challenge group, and I was sold on the idea of being a challenger. I resisted coaching for a solid 4 months. She invited me, and she's my cousin, so she kind of has some leverage on me. But she invited me over and over, and she ultimately cornered me and was like, Rachel, I need you to sign up because I want to get to Emerald. Can you please just sign up so that you can save some money on your shakes? And I was like, fine. Can you just get off my back? Then, because she's my cousin, she drugged me to a Super Saturday, which is the power of events. So I would encourage you, if you're on the fence about Summit, go to Summit. It will change your life. It will change your business. At any corporate event that you can get your hands on, go to it. And Super Saturday was that for me. That was a pivotal moment where I thought, I could do this. and come home to my babies. I was working in corporate America as an insurance and billing administrator. And in 8 months of hard freaking work and tons of sacrifice, I left my job and came home full time and have been home ever since for about a little less than 2.5 years. And it's been a huge blessing. But one of the things I'm really passionate about is finding a way to share your story that attracts the people that want to build a business with you. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to not feeling like you're ever going to find somebody who actually wants to run with you. You have a fire in your belly. You have a desire to change lives. And you know that in order to be successful in this business, you have to find other people that also want to do this too. And so while I am by no means the top of the top, I do know that I have created a community that I love absolutely dearly and who are loyal to a fault and who are my tribe. Like, these are people that I would want to be best friends with outside of this business. So hopefully some of these things I share tonight will give you some tools to be bold in sharing about the business side of things, because I do believe it's extremely important to share the business and not just from a challenger perspective, because it's easy to post a transformation post and promote to a challenge group. It's a little bit scarier to talk about building a business because you're afraid of what people will think. So hopefully you can overcome some of that tonight. So my name is Rachel. Our team's name is Restoration Nation. Our motto is restoring lives one body, heart, and mindset at a time. And I hope to help you find your tribe, the ones that will run with you through the good and the bad and aren't afraid of working to chase a dream. So this is just a few of the coaches within our downline. And these, when I look at this picture, I think about the families that were impacted because I decided to share boldly from day one, before I had a transformation, before I had this huge before and after. I just started sharing my heart on my page. And all of these families that are represented, we have husbands who have gone off diabetes medicines. We have women who have lowered cholesterol. We have kids who are eating vegetables for the first time in their lives, and that would be my kids personally, just as an FYI. And so there's so much that is represented in a picture like this, and I think it's easy to lose sight of the impact that you're making when you're tied up in the numbers. But putting together something like this showed me, you know, I am making an impact on people's lives. I'm making an impact in families' lives and generations and the kids' future, and that really does matter. So one of the biggest things for me in building a business of people who want to run with you is mindset. We talk about personal development a lot in the Beachbody world, and I'll dive into that a little bit in a second. I was total anti-personal development for the first 1.5 years of my business until I had my second son and had my butt handed to me because I now knew nothing about motherhood, and I was in the pits of depression. And I just didn't know which way was up, and personal development was what drug me out of that. But mindset is a huge piece. Being a leader or being a follower are both mindsets that you choose. So if you are within Ashley's downline, let's say that you are waiting for her to post a training to learn something. You struggle with inviting, and you're waiting for her to tell you how to invite. That's a follower's mindset. A leader's mindset is going to find an area of their business that they want to learn more about, and they're going to do it. And they're going to take action. And they're going to be the cheerleader in the team page that's going to say, girls, y'all are on fire. What are you doing right now? How can I help you? Let's shout somebody out. Being that driving force and that encouragement and setting yourself up in your mind as a leader versus someone who's just going to wait for other people to tell you what to do. When we don't believe that we have something to offer someone, they're going to perceive that in our conversations. So for me, when I was really struggling initially with my conversations as a new coach, it was because I didn't fully understand what I had to offer. I knew that I liked Shakeology. I knew that I loved the workouts, but I didn't understand why did Shakeology make me feel good? And so when someone would give me the price objection, I would immediately bow down. Oh yeah, it is expensive. It's because I didn't have the belief behind what I was offering because I didn't have the knowledge. And so when I took the time to research Shakeology, when I took the time to research Energize and to understand why is Energize so much better than other leading pre-workouts on the market, I was able to lead my conversations with confidence. And I knew that what I had to offer as a coach I have all these tools for them, but what is really invaluable to them is my service to them as their coach. And so when I started believing that I had that to offer, my conversations changed because I began to be more confident in what I was speaking about. Like I said at the beginning of the call, it does not have to come naturally for you to be great at it. So every skill, I feel like if you get to a point in your business and everything feels easy, you have become complacent and you're not in a state of growth. And that's something that I've experienced a lot in my business. Every time I've gotten comfortable, it's because I'm not growing at the rate in which I'm capable of. And so realizing that there's every season of your business is going to have a part of discomfort and is not going to feel natural. Being a leader does not feel natural to me. You know, in watching this, you might think, oh, she knows what she's doing. I really have no clue what I'm doing every single day. All I know is that I'm committed to growth. I'm committed to leading from the front, and I'm committed to showing my team that you have to try things and fail at them and try things and succeed at them. And so being a leader is not something that's a skill set I feel like is a natural for me. Public speaking, so I was homeschooled for 13 years, and my only school spelling bee, yes, they have homeschool spelling bees. I was the first person to spell a word. I got the word wrong, and I ran out of the room crying. And so from that point on, I was totally traumatized by the thought of speaking in front of people. And ever since becoming a coach, this has been leading team calls is one of my most favorite things to do because it lights up my fire to be able to see people on the call and know that they're being inspired and that I can play a part in their business growing. And so it doesn't have to come naturally for you to grow that skill set and to become a rock star at whatever area it is that you struggle. Something to think about is, do you truly believe what we stand for as coaches? So do you believe, our opportunity with Beachbody is so different than any other MLM that you're going to come in contact. We've been around forever. We're going to be around forever. There's always going to be people who need to lose weight the healthy way. We're not trying to shove some magic coffee down their throat. We're not trying to promote a wrap. We are truly trying to help them through a healthy habit, working out and eating right and fulfilling their body's nutritional needs. That is it. And what you're giving them is community and support. And so many people today don't have that in their home life, in their work life. There's so much negativity because it's so much easier to be overweight and in that pattern than it is to be different and be the one that seeks after healthy habits. And so do you truly believe what you stand for as a coach? Do you believe in your mission to change lives? Do you believe in your mission to change your family's financial destiny? And if you do, then sharing that boldly and being unapologetic in the way that you're portraying that to your followers is so important, because that is a mindset shift. The second that you believe in what you're offering somebody and that you as a coach, I had a mentor one time that said this. She was like, if you have to tell yourself that your coaching costs $140 a month and your clients get Shakeology for free when they do that, then tell yourself that, because that's what it is. They're paying for you to be their coach. And you can't get personal coaching for $140 the way that we support our clients in challenge groups and behind the scenes check-ins and mentorship. They can contact us whenever they want to. You can't pay $140 anywhere for that kind of support. So if you need to say that they get Shakeology free with your coaching for a month, then shift that in your head, because you are what's valuable. You are what you're offering. Confidence is a huge piece of the puzzle. That was something that I struggled with a lot in the beginning. It's a lot of the unknowns as a new coach. You don't really know how to run a challenge group. You don't really know how to run a team. Everything is just new and scary. But growing in confidence through personal development is so important. For me, I have a personal development for my personal struggle, so whatever it is that I'm going through in this season, and then I also have a personal development for my business. So I don't ever skip one or the other. I need both, because I need to be able to fuel my personal mind, and like if I'm struggling with confidence, or if I'm struggling with doubt, or if I'm struggling with leadership. I actually started going to therapy a few months back to help me work through my postpartum stuff, and it was so empowering to have somebody tell me, hey, this is what you're struggling with, read this book. And so I have that personal development, and then I have a business personal development, something that's going to help me stay focused on my goals in my business. And that's going to really, when I struggle with something to post on my page, it is 10 out of 10 times because I am not head first in personal development. I always have something to share if I have filled up my cup first. And like, for example, today was a really hard mom day. I don't know if any of you guys on this call have kids or have multiple kids. It was a hard one of those mom days that about sends you to Ben and Jerry's. And I know that had I not started my day at 5 a.m. with 45 minutes of personal development with hot coffee, also that always helps, personal development, and then an hour of business flow, my whole day would have been crashed and burned if I hadn't done that. But because I took care of my needs first mentally, I was so well equipped to handle that today that I didn't go to Ben and Jerry's, even though I did think about it. I stayed strong and I avoided the drive-thru. In your conversations, be the guide. Take charge and lead them to where you want your end result to be. We're talking about challengers. We're talking about coaches. So let's say you're having a conversation with a potential we'll use challenger, for example, a potential challenger, and you ask them, so what are your goals? What's your biggest struggle with nutrition? And they say, oh, well, I really like French fries and I go through the drive-thru a lot. And you say, oh yeah, I used to do that too. The conversation stops. And so as the guide in the conversation, you always wrap it up with a question and say, that I totally relate to that. I used to be that same way too. Do you find that you struggle with meal prepping? And keeping the conversation going. But in those behind the scenes, you're the one navigating those so that you can get that to the point that you want, particularly when you're having conversations about coaching. Being knowledgeable about what you're talking about. For me, I feel like there's nothing more that I can give to someone that they will respect me more if I say, you know, I'm not really sure. I get this question, a lot of questions about Shakeology. And like, does it have this ingredient? Does it have that ingredient? And people will respect you more if you say, you know what, I'm not sure. Give me a couple hours. I'm going to do some research and I'm going to get back to you on that. There is no shame in doing that. If you don't know the compensation plan, which I don't know the compensation plan in and out, you can say, you know what, I'm not really sure. Let me find some really great resources that I'm going to send to you. Give me a couple hours and I'll get back to you. When you don't know what you're talking about, they're going to perceive uncertainty, and it's better to say that and be able to come back to them with a confident answer instead of saying, oh, well, Shakeology is good for you, or, oh, you make money by growing your team. They're not going to have a lot of confidence in you because you haven't eased their fears. So coming back to those conversations at a later date when you have grown your knowledge base. So we've talked a little bit about mindset and confidence. So that's kind of the behind the scenes of how to attract a business builder. But now what do you do? How do you share on your page? What are ways and strategies that you can do to actually get those people to come to you to be on your team or have a more productive conversation when you're inviting directly to the business opportunity? For me, if you don't share the business, you're not going to build the business. If you right now are only talking about your challenge groups, you're only going to fill your challenge groups. And so if you're not talking about the fact that you are running a business, whether you're a brand new baby coach, whether you've been in the business for 5 years and you don't feel like you where you should be, whatever your walk is, if you're not sharing the business side of things, you're not going to grow a team underneath you who also shares the business, who will also grow their team. Because oh my gosh, it's so true. Speed of the leader, speed of the pack. Whatever you want your team to do, 10xing those efforts is going to be what will get them to be inspired to get to the level that you want them to be at. So some tips and tricks that I have for you. And again, I don't know everything. These are just things that have worked for me and things that I have fine-tuned in the course of my journey. So hopefully something is helpful for you. The big part for me is do not be afraid of sharing the hustle. So many times we get so caught up in like, this business is hard work. It is not an easy, like overcoming your fears, overcoming obstacles, reaching out to people you don't know, putting yourself out there on social media and being vulnerable is not easy. And it does require, especially as you're building the foundation for your business, it requires hustle. And specifically in those first couple of years of your business. And you need to be sharing that, because if you paint a picture that it's an easy business, you're going to attract the people that are wanting a quick buck, that are the people that joined my team only from an income post did not stick around. They joined for a month, didn't make $7,000 in their first month, and then they pieced because it was hard. You want to share the hustle and be, okay, I have got up early every day at 5 a.m. when my family is sleeping. I am up, I'm awake, I'm doing my personal development, I'm answering emails, I am sacrificing sleep to get up. I am sacrificing sleep during nap time when I really want to nap. I'm staying up late after my whole family has gone to bed. Whatever your day looks like, you're sacrificing your lunch break. You're listening to personal development or a podcast training on your commute to work. Instagram stories makes this so easy. You can share your workflow throughout the day. And if you're not sharing your workflow, you're probably not working your business, because it's very easy to share your workflow when you are actively building your team and you're building and you're growing and you're expanding your network and you're doing all those things. It's easy to share, and you want to share that hustle because they need to know that it is going to take commitment, consistency, and doing hard and scary things, and hustle is a huge part of that. For me, I recruit a lot, like 95% of my coaches come directly from my challenge group. There's so many philosophies on how to recruit. I'm just going to share what works for me. And I don't know what works for other coaches, but for me, recruiting directly out of my challenge groups is my number one goal. However, a lot of times what people will say is, oh, I'm going to recruit directly from my challenge group. And you hit Success Club 5, and then you wonder why no one wants to build a business, because you only have 3 people from your challenge group that month that you can talk to about recruiting. So in my mind, if I recruit Success Club 20 and above every single month, my challenge groups are rocking. It is a community that people want to be a part of. It's exciting. People are getting results. They're inspired and motivated by each other because I filled it as much as I possibly can month after month. And then when I go to invite from those people that are in my challenge groups, it is so much easier because I have 10 people to pull from, and maybe one of those is my next rock star, or maybe one of those is curious about the business. But if you're only hitting Success Club 5, you're going to really struggle recruiting with that strategy. So just be honest about what your goals are, be honest about what your non-negotiables are, and if you're going to recruit from your challenge group, if that feels natural, because for me, that feels natural. When someone has gone through a challenge group, they understand what it's like to have a coach. They understand what community does for them. They understand how this can change their life, and you can see with like crystal clarity the coaches, the rising coaches in your challenge group are the people that are going to comment and post their sweaty selfies. They're the people that are going to encourage the other people in the group. It is so easy to but to identify those people when you're recruiting from your challenge groups. Now, I recruit from my challenge groups using my social media. So I do invite behind the scenes to the business opportunity, both in my challenge groups and just random people. I do cold invite to the business as well. It just is not very successful for me, but I do know that that's part of growing my business. So I do it anyways, even though it's not fun. But I promote on my page in a way that my clients, having experienced the VIP experience behind the scenes, now see my post and talking about the business. They realize I am actually what I say I am on my page, and they begin to be curious. Could they actually, I like being in a challenge group. I really like having a coach to support. I love this community. I wonder if I could do this too. And so by seeing those posts on my page and talking about that, they begin to be curious, and those invites behind the scenes are more productive. Find ways to share your workflow and snippets. I talked about Instagram stories is really great in that, but especially if you're a working woman, this is really important because you need to be able to share what your daily workflow looks like in your workflow. So for me, when I was working in corporate America, I would get up early, like I still do. I would get up early. I was a nursing mom, so I would pump. While I was pumping, I would answer messages and I would send invites. And then I would go to work and I would listen. I had a 30-minute commute. I would listen to a training on the way. And then I would get to work and I would be at work. And then when I came around for my first pump break, I would go and I would pump and I would check in with my challenge groups. And then I would go back to work. And then at lunch, I would go in and I would do my invites. I would, whatever, I had this system, but I started sharing that I was working in the pockets of my day. That did not change. My environment just changed. When I came home, I'm still working in the pockets of my day. I still have a full-time job. It's just tends to be with two tiny little terrors that keep me on my toes. So I'm still sharing in the snippets of the day. And I'm telling you, Instagram stories is where it's at. I do see the chat. I can't see what it says. I will definitely catch up with that at the end for sure. If you have any questions, please drop them there and I would be happy to answer them. Share the emotional, not just the financial. So for a lot of my coaches, this is what I experience in my downline. A lot of my coaches have a hard time sharing the business because they feel like they don't have a financial transformation yet. They feel like they have to wait until they have some big January 2018 to January 2019, huge transformation of income numbers. And that's just so not the case. In fact, the sooner that you begin to share both the financial side of things, but also the emotional side of things, the mental side of things, the whole thing encompassed, you're going to attract people for different reasons. So for me, community matters. Having that support system when I was battling postpartum depression was the difference of me wanting to show up for myself and not, because I knew that support system was going to be there for me and they were going to be checking in on me and I needed them. My mental transformation, my patience with my children is completely different than it was prior to coaching because I would do so much personal development. There's no way in heck I would have gone to therapy 2 years ago had I not spent the last 2 years working on myself and realizing that I needed outside help. And so I share every single part of it because I want people who, maybe they need a community of uplifting women. It's so rare that we're in a business where our sole job is to encourage and motivate each other. What other work environment do you come into contact with where you're supposed to encourage each other and do it from a genuine standpoint? So share all sides of it. And then the last tip and trick on that is posting a call to action at least once a week on your page. So this means I am looking for one more girl to mentor this month. This means I am looking for 2 more challengers, or I am looking, whatever your verbiage is, posting that so they know they can join you, that they don't need to wait for Melanie Mentro to post something and be like, oh, Melanie's a coach. Oh, I'll go to her. If you post like a coach, they're going to think of you. When they're ready to make a lifestyle change, they'll think of you. So posting that call to action makes it very clear that they can also join you either as a challenger or as a coach on your team. So don't shy away from posting call to actions about coaching because maybe there are people that are right there that are so curious. So one of my newest rock stars, she came out of left freaking field. So she is somebody I've known she's followed my journey my entire 3.5 years. She was actually in the wedding that was my motivating factor to lose weight initially. And she's followed my journey. I've invited her at least like 4 to 6 times over the last 3.5 years. And every time she has said she was either working with another coach or she's working on her own or she was doing great on her own. She had a baby in that time and she just wasn't ready. She reached out to me in December and she said, I've been watching you. I want to do Transform 20 and I want to sign up as a coach and build a business. She has hit SC10 in December and January. And I was not expecting it. But every week I was posting a call to action. She knew when she was ready, there was a spot for her on my team. And so that consistency and making sure people knew that they could join me is really important. So just have a few other things to go over and then I'll wrap it up. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Practice makes perfect. For me, being willing to fail forward was really key. I was sharing this the other night with my team. We had planned out this amazing free group and I was so pumped. We hadn't run a free group in forever. And I was like, yeah, we're all going to recruit like a boss to this. We're going to invite our face off and it's going to be there's going to be 150 people in this free group. And I was like, okay, everybody, it's time to post our promo post. Not one person joined from any of our posts. Not one person. And I could have either used that as holy crap, I'm the worst leader in the whole world. I just led my team to failure. What am I doing? Instead, I was like, okay, that didn't work. let's shift gears. This is how we're going to do this. Let's tweak this wording. Let's take our post down. Let's try this again. And so you have to be willing to jump and learn how to fly on the way down. Never run a free group. You need to run a free group. Figure out what works for you. Never run a challenge group. You need to run a challenge group and figure out what works for you. You don't have a team page. Gosh dang it, you need to open your own team page, create your own name, and take ownership of your business and be, no, I'm getting a no. Well, so Ash is like, no, don't do that. But putting yourself in a leadership mindset with your business is the point of that. Be willing to fail forward as a leader, as a coach, and take the jump and learn how to fly on the way down. So if you stay in the realm of planning and thinking, it kind of goes in line with that. If you stay in the realm of planning and thinking, you will lose momentum and opportunity. You're going to get off this call, and my hope and prayer is that you're pumped up and excited, and you're feeling all ready to tackle the world. That's the purpose of team calls. But you get off the call, and you start planning what you're going to do, and you start thinking about what you're going to do, and you're like, oh, I should post about this tomorrow. And you wait until tomorrow, and that energy is gone, and the momentum is gone, and you lose the opportunity to speak from your heart tonight about what you're feeling. So same with challenge groups. You think about the most killer name, and you think about 21 awesome posts, and you have all this stuff going on in your head, and you wait until it's perfectly planned out to actually start executing it instead of starting the ball rolling. Share about it. My very first free group, I had never been in a free group. I'd never run a free group, and I didn't know what I was doing. I just decided I'm going to run one next week. I'm going to give myself a start date. I posted about it, had no content, and it forced me to figure it out because I wasn't going to stay in the realm of planning and thinking any longer. Use every opportunity to learn and to grow. Be willing to self-reflect and fine-tune areas that you can improve. So like I said about the free group, I realized, okay, whatever I did in those initial posts and that initial planning strategy for my team, it didn't work. So I had to be able to self-reflect and say, okay, Rachel, good job for trying, but let's fix this. Let's fine-tune areas in this approach that may or may not work when we try it again. On the flip side of that, not crucifying yourself if you think something fails. Too often, people are right on the verge of success when they have a perceived failure, when in reality, it's just an opportunity to grow as a leader and in your business. But you get so caught up in your head that, oh, I must be a terrible leader because this didn't work. Or I must suck because I didn't reach this goal, or whatever it might be. The only failure in my eyes is not trying and not being willing to put yourself out there and on the line to work towards your goals and have some of those failures, because that's one of your biggest pivotal moments in your business to learn from. Not giving up on the first try. We talked about that a little bit. And if you've got to fake it until you make it, then that's what you got to do. You have to help with team calls, or ask a friend to run a promotional group, or ask your upline if you can help with anything. Think like a leader. Post in the team page. Be active, and put yourself in that leadership mindset. And as I wrap up, I want to remind you that it starts with the heart. So for me in my business, when I start to overcomplicate it and get caught up in the numbers or this or that, I lose my focus on loving on people and getting them results. If I'm doing those two things, my odds of turning them into coaches are 100% better, because I'm leading from the heart and I'm helping them truly in their life, and hopefully they will want to pay that forward as well. Being deeply connected to your why, that why is going to change. I think we often feel like we have to only have one reason why we're a coach. And when I was leaving corporate America, I was laser focused on I wanted to be home to my babies. But when I came home, I had to reconnect with my new why. What is it that I wanted to achieve in my business, but why? Why did I want to achieve it? So we were in debt up to our eyeballs, and I wanted to pay off all of our debt. I didn't want to have that stressor. My husband lost his job last year. And so instead of him freaking out and me freaking out, I mean, we did freak out a little bit, not gonna lie. But I knew, and I was able to look at him with confidence and say, babe, we are not rolling in the dough. So don't think that. But I was able to look at him with confidence, say, babe, I can carry us until you find another job. And instead of him going back to a job that he hates, that was something that was mundane, I literally left me with a shell of the husband that I had married. He was able to go back to something that he loved with a passion. He's able to be back in ministry, and doesn't have to have the financial burden of having to make XYZ money, because I can help support him in that. So that's my why, to know that I'm helping my husband live out his purpose, to know that I can take my kids to Disney World in 2 weeks. Those are the whys that drive me now. So being deeply connected on the hard days, when you don't want to work your business and when you don't want to do your power hour, that why is going to be what drives you. Keep in mind that Beachbody's values don't align with greedy people. Being heart-focused, willing to hustle. This requires work. Expecting it to be handed to us isn't going to get us anywhere. But if we're willing to hustle, willing to make short-term sacrifices for long-term rewards, will attract your lifers. I think back to that first 2 years specifically in my business, I made a lot of sacrifices. I'm not out of that hustle and grind mode. I still make a ton of sacrifices every single day. But those sacrifices that I'm making in this season are going to pay off in long-term rewards with my family, with financial freedom, with helping others achieve their own goals, and that is so rewarding. So a reminder that Rome wasn't built in a day, but it was built daily. And so I'm going to challenge you tonight that your tribe is waiting for you to be brave. Get out of your comfort zone when it comes to promoting and seeking out business builders, and be willing to do things in your business that maybe scare you a little bit, because your tribe, the people's lives that you're going to impact, they're waiting on you to be bold and brave and share that they can join you too and become a part of your amazing team that you have right here. So that's all I've got. I'm going to stop my screen share and see. Hopefully Ashley doesn't. Hopefully it was okay. Okay, yeah, that's all I've got.
No, you did amazing. And I always like it when I can leave a call with notes. I've been in this business for 6 years, and I love when I can learn new things and other coaches inspire me. So one, if y'all didn't take notes, please make sure to go back to the recording and listen. There was a lot of snippets that I really, really loved. And I put my thoughts as I heard them in the, I can't talk tonight, guys. I'm so sorry. In the chat. But I loved everything about this call. Does anybody have any questions for Rachel? And don't be the coach that when this call ends, you're like, hey, Ashley, I have a question. And they're like,
I'm right here, please.
Sorry, you missed your chance. And I love how the entire bottom screen of our call, nobody has their camera turned. It's like the whole bottom screen is turned off.
Okay, maybe we all just need filters. That's all.
Story of my life. I know. I was thinking, I'm like, man, I haven't washed my hair, and I had swim lessons on Monday with my kid. Probably should get my life together.
No judgment.
No one has a single thought, question, nothing.
No. If not, I'll leave them with one additional thing. So Team Cup, I don't know if everybody on this call is on a Team Cup, but if you're not, be on a Team Cup, because if you want to build a business, you have to put action to your words, and Team Cup community is everything. You may not work on your goals for yourself, but you might work on your goals because you don't want to disappoint the other 4 people on your team. So don't lose the power of that opportunity. Team Cup is magical.
And I think it really creates a bond. I remember the first Team Cup I ever did, and you guys know I'm like nuts about my Team Cup. Like, I interview my people before I let you on my Team Cup, just because I am competitive as heck. But it created a bond. Like, we chatted every single day, and it wasn't just about the business. It was like, hey, how did your doctor's appointment, or how did this go? And it, like, you will meet people that become, yeah, we're already a family, we're already a tribe, a squad, whatever we want to call ourselves, but they'll become your closest friends in this business. So I know some of you are like, I'm too new, or I'm not active enough. Join a Team Cup. There's a matchmaking post in the Beachbody Champion page, or post in the team page. You're like, hey, is there anybody else that hasn't gotten registered? We will find you a team, I promise.
For sure.
So yeah, Chris, I almost called you Crystal. I'm so sorry, Rachel. It has been a day. It has been a day.
9 p.m. You're fine.
It's because Crystal's on my next screen, right next to me. I appreciate you being on the call. Like I said, I took lots of notes. I absolutely love this. And you said to do things that I already do. And sometimes I forget to preach this to the team, like sharing the emotions and not just the fun stuff. Like, it's easy to share the fun stuff, but it's when we find our people that are like, thank you for being honest and vulnerable and not sugarcoating this. Like, I absolutely love that. So Rachel, I appreciate you being on the call. I know my team appreciates you being on the call. And team, do not log off. I still have a couple things to say. I just don't want to keep Rachel. So thank you for being on here. I truly appreciate it. And I know a lot of us got a lot out of it.
You are welcome. Y'all have an awesome night. Thanks for having me, Ashley.
Thanks, Rachel.
Bye.
So honestly, guys, if you did not take notes, go back and take notes. Like, I am sometimes a note taker. Like, I have 2 pages of notes. Like, I got a lot of tidbit out of that. And it's kind of what I needed. And if you saw, I did a post on the team page. If you haven't seen, thank you, because that means you weren't looking at your phone and your notifications while you're on the team call. But I did a post in the team page, or just a very honest and raw post. If you follow me on social media, I haven't been as active. I've just been dealing with a lot of crap. And my depression has been awful, and I'm slowly getting back into the swing of things. Crystal, I know you, Karen Late, I saw your post. But I loved what she said. Like, we are a team. We're whatever you want to call it, team, squad, family, tribe, whatever the N word is this week. Let's lean on each other. Let's not work against each other. Let's not help each other. Let's just continue to push and make things happen. Maybe January didn't go the way you want it to go. My January has been, personal-wise and business-wise, not the way I wanted to go, but we keep on pushing and we keep on going, and we don't give up when shit gets rough. We don't give up when times get rough. We lean on each other. So if you need someone to lean on the team, lean on me, lean on a fellow coach. But let's just continue to rock it and be there for one another and just continue to push forward and keep going on with this year. It's only January. We're not even close to this year ending. And there's so much more that we can do. So I appreciate you guys being on this call tonight. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you taking time out of your night. I know sometimes these calls are not at the best time, but I appreciate you being here. So I'm going to give you guys a call to action. I'm not going to post in the team page. I am empowering you guys to post in the team page and to take leadership and to take action. I want to know what your biggest takeaway was from Rachel doing this call. Whether it's something little, whether it's something you're like, really was like an aha moment for you, I want you to share it. And I want you to share it in the team page. And I want you guys to interact with one another. Is it something that somebody can help you with? Is it something that someone's like, yeah, I get it. Like, let's work on this together. Let's see how we can help each other. So I'm empowering you to post in the team page and to do that. So with that being said, that is your guys' call to action. We have a call on the 4th, a Push to Emerald call. Ashley Barrold will be hosting that call for me. I will actually be doing a call for Rachel that night. And then I don't have the February calendar up, guys. I will get it up. We have a team call every Wednesday next month. Ashley Barrold and Emily Albrico are kind of helping me, or not kind of, they're helping me out hosting some team calls just to take some of the weight off my shoulders. So if you have any questions, let me know. Post on the team page first. Reach out to me if you guys need anything. Post the call to action. You guys have an amazing night. I love you all, and I will see you guys next Wednesday. Good night, guys.